What if the guy sitting 3 cubicles down from you, the one who can never seem to hold down a job or keep his life together, was actually a lost prince from another planet? What if the only thing standing between his home world and total annihilation was a sword he lost when he was 10 years old? That's the story at the heart of Masters of the Universe, and by the end of it, you're going to understand exactly why this guy was always destined to become the most powerful man in the universe. Let's get into it. Our story begins on the planet Eternia, in the golden city of Eternos. This is a world of magic, monsters, and warriors, ruled by King Randor and Queen Marlena. Randor is Eternia's own king. Marlena, though, isn't from Eternia at all. She's an astronaut from Earth who ended up here and fell in love with the king. That detail matters a lot later, so keep it in your back pocket. The king and queen have a young son, Prince Adam. As a kid, Adam is being trained in combat alongside his best friend, a fierce little girl named Tila. Their instructor is Duncan, the king's most trusted general and weapons master, who Eternians call Man-at-Arms. Duncan isn't just Tila's teacher. He's her adoptive father. And right from these opening scenes, you can already feel the bond between Adam and Tila. They grew up side by side, training, sparring, and getting into trouble together. But that peaceful world doesn't last long. Eternos is suddenly attacked by an army led by a terrifying figure, a skull-faced warlock named Skeletor. His forces storm the city, and in the chaos, Skeletor manages to capture both King Randor and Queen Marlena. During the fighting, Duncan is badly wounded by one of Skeletor's mercenaries, a vicious cyborg called Trapjaw. With the royal family falling and the city collapsing around them, a mysterious protector steps in. She's known as the Sorceress, the guardian of Castle Grayskull, a massive fortress just outside the city that holds ancient magical power. Realizing young Adam can't survive what's coming, the Sorceress makes a desperate choice. She opens a portal and sends Adam away to Earth, the one place he might actually be safe, since it's his mother's home planet. Before he goes, she hands him something extraordinary, the Sword of Power, a weapon tied directly to the magic of Grayskull itself. Adam escapes through the portal, but in the chaos of arriving on a brand new world, alone and terrified, he loses the sword. A 10-year-old boy, ripped away from his family, his home, and now even the one weapon he was trusted to protect, vanishes into an entirely different universe. This is where the real story begins. 15 years pass. Adam is now an adult, and here's the twist. He's not living some secret superhero life. He's working an ordinary human resources job in Oklahoma City, sharing an apartment with his roommate Hussein. On the surface, Adam looks like any other guy grinding through his 9 to 5, getting mildly chewed out by his boss, just trying to get through the week. But underneath that ordinary life, Adam is obsessed with one thing: finding that sword. He's spent years searching for it, chasing leads, refusing to let it go, even though nobody around him understands why. To everyone on Earth, he's just a strange guy fixated on a fantasy prop. What they don't know is that Adam still remembers, at least in fragments, where he really came from. This is important because it tells you everything about who Adam is at the start of the story. He's stuck between two worlds. He doesn't fully belong on Earth, but he also doesn't remember enough about Eternia to understand what he's supposed to do. He's a prince who doesn't know he's a prince. A hero who doesn't know he's a hero. All he knows is that the sword matters, and he has to find it. And then, out of nowhere, he gets his break. An anonymous text tips him off to the sword's location, and Adam tracks it down inside a comic book store. After 15 years, he finally has it back in his hands. But that relief doesn't last long. The very next day, Adam gets arrested for stealing the sword. While he's being transported down the freeway, his ordinary human problems suddenly become the least of his worries, because he's ambushed by a monstrous, ape-like creature. Beast Man, one of Skeletor's top enforcers, sent to Earth to retrieve the weapon. Adam has no idea how to fight something like this. Luckily, he doesn't have to fight alone. The moment Adam touched the sword, it sent out a signal, and that signal reached Tila, who has spent the last 15 years searching for exactly this. She swoops in, saves Adam from Beast Man, and the two of them escape together in her ship, heading straight back to Eternia. Once they land, Adam finally sees his home world again for the first time since he was a child. And it is not the golden, thriving kingdom he remembers. Eternos lies in ruins. Skeletor has ruled the planet for 15 years, and the surviving warriors of Eternia are forced to live in hiding, scattered among the wreckage of the city they used to call home. This is where Adam reconnects with Duncan, his old mentor, who has fallen a long way since we last saw him. He's now a bitter, hard-drinking shell of the warrior he once was, worn down by 15 years of failure and loss. Adam also meets Roboto, a combat robot who used to be a proud fighting machine but has been reprogrammed into a lowly servant under Skeletor's regime. You'd think the remaining Eternian warriors would be relieved to see their long-lost prince return. They are not. Adam made the mistake of giving them all embarrassing childhood nicknames back when he was a kid, and understandably, they are not thrilled to be reminded of that. Instead of welcoming him as their prince, the warriors dismiss him as a nobody and lock him up alongside Teela, Duncan, and Roboto. But these are not people who stay locked up for long. The four of them break out, and slowly, Adam starts winning over the resistance fighters, warriors like Fisto, Ram Man, Dien, Moss Man, and Mechanic. It's not a fast process. Trust has to be earned, especially from people who've been fighting and losing for a decade and a half. Just as they start to build something like a team, Skeletor's forces catch up to them. Trapjaw, the same cyborg who wounded Duncan years earlier, blocks their only way out, standing directly in the path of Teela's ship. This is the moment everything changes for Adam. Cornered, with no other option, Adam raises the Sword of Power and calls out to the magic of Grayskull. In an instant, his body transforms. He becomes stronger, faster, and more powerful than anything he's ever been. For the first time in the movie, we see a glimpse of what Adam is truly capable of, and he uses that power to take down Trapjaw. It's a huge moment, but it comes at a cost. In the escape that follows, Skeletor's army manages to capture the rest of the group. Skeletor, furious and looking to make an example, executes Moss Man in front of the others. It's a brutal wake-up call, and it forces Fisto to break and reveal the truth. Adam has the sword. Now Skeletor has exactly what he's been searching for all these years. He drops a bombshell of his own. Adam's parents, King Rander and Queen Marlena, are not dead. They've been alive this entire time, held prisoner. Skeletor offers a trade. The sword, in exchange for the king and queen. Adam, Teela, and Duncan head straight into the heart of enemy territory, Snake Mountain, Skeletor's fortress. Adam fights his way through Skeletor's personal guard almost single-handedly, proving just how far he's come. But when he finally reaches Skeletor himself, things go horribly wrong. In the chaos of the confrontation, a cave-in traps them, and King Rander is mortally wounded. The shock and grief knock Adam unconscious, and when he wakes up, he's back in his regular human form. He, Teela, and Duncan are thrown into a cell alongside Queen Marlena. There's one small silver lining in this dark moment. Locked away in Skeletor's dungeon, Adam is reunited with Cringer, his childhood pet, a tiger who's been living in hiding this whole time. It's a quiet, emotional beat in the middle of everything falling apart, a reminder of the life Adam lost. Meanwhile, Skeletor has a problem of his own. He has the sword, but he can't actually access its power. It won't work for him. His sorceress advisor, Evelyn, a former Eternian who betrayed her own people to serve Skeletor, comes up with a solution. She tells him there's a ritual that can be performed at Castle Grayskull itself, one that could unlock the sword's true power for Skeletor once and for all. That gives Adam and his allies a small window to act. They escape their prison and race back to Eternos, rallying Fisto, Ram Man, Dien, and Mechanic for one final stand against Skeletor's army. During the battle that follows, Duncan finally gets his rematch against Trapjaw, the man who crippled him years earlier, and this time, Duncan wins. But victory comes with a price. Roboto is destroyed in the fighting, a servant-turned-hero who sacrifices everything for a cause bigger than the role he was forced into. Riding on Cringer, Adam and Tila push forward and break into Castle Grayskull itself. What follows is the film's true climax, and it plays out on multiple fronts at once. Adam goes head-to-head with Skeletor. Tila squares off against Evelyn. And Cringer takes on Beastman. Adam's fight with Skeletor does not go his way. Skeletor smashes the Sword of Power to pieces using his own weapon, the Havoc Staff. With Adam disarmed and stabbed, Skeletor doesn't finish him off physically. Instead, he goes for something crueler. He reaches into Adam's mind and forces him to relive his memories of Earth, trapping him inside his own head, tormenting him with the ordinary, powerless life he tried so hard to escape. This is the emotional core of the entire movie. Adam is broken, physically and mentally, with the sword destroyed and Skeletor seemingly triumphant. But then the sorceress appears to him, the same woman who sent him away as a child. And she tells him something he never understood before. The power was never really inside the sword. It was inside him all along. The sword was just a symbol. He was the one who carried the true power of Grayskull the entire time. That single realization changes everything. Adam is free. He reconstitutes the shattered sword of power right there in his hands and once again transforms, calling on the power of Grayskull to become Eternia's champion. Even now, even after everything Skeletor has done, Adam tries to end things peacefully. He offers Skeletor a chance to walk away, drawing on the wisdom he picked up from his years living an ordinary human life on Earth. Skeletor doesn't want peace. He rejects the offer outright, practically gleeful about being the villain, because being the villain is exactly who he wants to be. So they fight. And this time, Adam overpowers him completely. In the final exchange, Adam manages to turn Skeletor's own staff against him, reflecting its power back at its owner. The staff is destroyed, and Skeletor's body disintegrates right there in the ruins of Castle Grayskull. 6 months later, the dust has settled. Queen Marlena has taken back the throne of Eternos and is now ruling in her husband's place. Adam and his friends welcome a rebuilt Roboto back into the fold, and Hussein, Adam's old roommate from Earth, finally sees for himself that everything Adam had been telling him this whole time was actually true. Tila asks Adam if he's ever going to pick a proper name for the hero he's become. And after everything he's been through, he settles on something simple: He-Man. Right on cue, the two of them are called into action again, and Adam leaps into battle as He-Man, riding alongside Cringer, who is now fully armored and known as Battle Cat. Now stick around, because there's more after this, and it actually matters. A magical being named Orko shows up to deliver a closing message about the story's meaning. Then we see Queen Marlena confide in Duncan that she's given up hope of ever being reunited with both of her children. Duncan, though, isn't ready to give up on finding her daughter. And that's when the movie drops its biggest surprise. On another planet entirely, called Etheria, we see Adam's long-lost twin sister, Princess Adora, leading a battle of her own in a place called the Fright Zone. It's the first live-action tease of the Shi'ar character, and it's clearly setting up a much bigger universe if this franchise continues. One more scene follows. Evelyn, who slipped away during the final battle, returns quietly to the ruins of Castle Grayskull to retrieve something chilling: Skeletor's skull. As she leaves with it, we hear his laughter echo one last time, a clear sign that Skeletor's story is far from finished.
So, what does it all mean?
Adam spent his entire life feeling caught between two worlds, never fully belonging to either one. He wasn't looking for a magic sword. He was looking for a reason to believe he was actually capable of being someone extraordinary. And in the end, he didn't just find his lost weapon or his long-lost family. He found the one thing he'd been missing his whole life: the truth that the power he needed was never something he had to search for at all. It was inside him from the very beginning.